And we are live with session 38 of our Drowned Gods campaign. We have no Akalupu notes today. Also, our stream completely failed last time. So whoopee! That'll make things fun. I don't even remember who gave the recap last time. Pretty sure it wasn't Abe, though. All right, good. I was pretty sure it wasn't him. I think he was in, double disqualified at that point. But you're no longer disqualified, Abe.
Last time I was visiting, and we were like closing out the island. So
yeah, I remember that much. Yep. So yeah, last time does pick up with just after you guys had defeated Harley, and Yasuka had dragged her and Pipiopi's unconscious bodies out of the lake. So, with that in mind, let's get started. As always, everyone reset your hero point pools to 1. And who would like to give the recap for an extra hero point? Except for Jason, you're disqualified.
I didn't even use mine last session.
Do it.
Terrible.
I volunteer as tribute.
Cool. Yeah, last session didn't have a ton of rolling to do, really, so.
Not too much. Lots of
definitely happened.
Yeah.
Lots of plot. So yeah, Abe, why don't you go ahead and pick up with our recap.
Okay. So here's what went down. We all got taken out of the lake, revived, did some healing, which was good because we definitely needed it.
Yeah. Had Harley's goons tie her up.
Yeah, that is correct. PPOP went in with oh gosh, not Grace Glimmer, Sunbeam.
Sunbeam wasn't there.
Huh?
Sunbeam wasn't there. So Sunbeam and Blackrock stayed back at the battlefield over at Celestia's castle to deal with their moms. So you guys first you guys went up to the front gate and had to figure out how to open it. Because it was just this giant. Well, you don't know that yet. Well, so you guys went up to the wall, and first you had to have the crown out to get the doorway to open. And so PPOP gave the crown. Yeah, PPOP gave the crown to Yasuka because he was worried about it, killing him or him putting it on by accident or something like that. So Yasuka holds it up, all the lights flashing and going off, and then a doorway opens just, like a magical portal in the front of this huge carved edifice, which is also hidden by an illusion. Then, yes, PPOP went through.
PPRB was the only one, if I'm correct, who could actually go in. Everyone else was just like trying to go through. It was like thick Jello, if my memory serves.
Yeah, I mean, it's your basic kind of force field type thing. So basically, a slightly squishy invisible window for everyone else. While for PPOP, he was able to brush through as if he were just stepping through a bubble.
Lemon squeezy, and you're like hard lemon hard.
Yeah. Mike's hard lemonade.
He finds his mom's crypt.
Yeah, he also in the very entryway he finds the Well of Souls.
Oh, that's right. But I think he just walks past it, if I'm not mistaken.
He messed around with it for a bit, but he did not quite go so far as like sticking any body parts into the beam of light, which was probably smart.
He did not want to mess around with that. He didn't want to end up dead, I guess, or soulless. One of the two, neither of which very good. Let me think. Then he went and found his mom's crypt. He put the crown on a shelf.
No, that's way later. So he found his mom's.
Right, because he comes back.
Yeah.
And he read. There was a little letter there.
There was.
From his mom.
So he gets to his mom's crypt, and first of all, he finds that it's open. like, or
Yeah.
not open, but empty. So there's no bones there. And then he also finds Grace Glimmer's note, which I'll read out real quick, just as a quick reminder. To whoever, like, finds this, I'm totally stepping down as queen after all of these super long and tiring years. The song of adventure and freedom, like, totally calls to me still after all this time. And I'm not, like, going to ignore it anymore. I'm, like, going to find the emissary of the Star Mother or whatever. Maybe she'll, like, be able to help me find the ones I lost, but whatever. As long as I can get out of here. Also, to Harley, Luna, and Celestia, stop being, like, totally crazy. Just try to get along without me to take care of you every second. And yes, Grace Glimmer will have that accent, so I hope you're practicing it, Abe.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Unless I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, you got to do all the other ponies too. It sounds like I'm going to be Yasuka, but you'll have to do Sunbeam, Starfire, and Blackrock.
Totally practicing my A game. After that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he goes out, he kind of tells everybody what's up with his mom, that she's not really there. Yep. She's alive. She went to go find the Earth Mother, the Star Mother. And then they all go back to the beach cabana. And then...
Cabana. We've decided on the pronunciation there. Beach cabana.
Well, that's just because you're poor. The rich people call it a cabana. Like it's stevia, not stevia. And then from there, they're all like, "Oh, what should we do with the?" And I believe Yasuka and everybody like, "Oh, we should get rid of it. Like, let's put it back in the crypt, and then it'll, find whoever the true ruler's supposed to be." So that's what they do. They go off back, put it on a shelf in there, and leave because they're they have to kind of grope their way to it because they can't see. They don't know where it's at.
What?
Right? Yeah, because
so first, oh right, to get to the front, yes,
because we couldn't see it.
Right. I thought you meant after
illusions were back.
I thought you meant after they were inside, and I was very confused.
No.
No, I got it. I got you. Yeah, you're right.
And I think they roll pretty well on their perception. It's either that or they rolled bad, and it was just like, well, you found it anyway.
I think it was survival. But either way, yeah, they found it after multiple times of falling off of the invisible bridge with no handrails, because obviously that's the more fun way across.
Your wimps.
Yeah.
Go in, put the crown back, come back. Kind of think if they do anything before they set sail. I know they refit their ship.
So one thing they did was everyone got smoothies, which healed people, because Yasuka and PPOP got smoothies on their way back to the royal crypt, and they left everyone else. So Yasuka and PPOP left first, and then the rest of you guys had to like figure out how you were gonna get rides back, and I think you got rides from some of Harley's henchmen that were still around.
That is correct.
And then meanwhile, while PPOP and Yasuka were dropping off the crown, you were Manawa Nui was being healed by Sammy, because Manawa Nui was not in good shape.
Manawa Nui's in like a body cast.
Yeah, pretty much. Because after what the crown did to Manawa Nui's poor body, she was not doing great.
Not too terrible though.
And then,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think Manawa Nui was like mobile. If I'm
she was barely mobile, and the few times she tried to get up, Sammy was like, "Lay down, you need to rest. You're going to die."
Yeah.
Then while PPOP and Yasuka were still away, not Grace Glimmer, Sunbeam and Starfire returned and said that you guys had some guests.
That's right. It was Luna and
Celestia.
Celestia. There we
No
go.
no longer queens.
Yes, just common plebeian citizens. I mean, they're still rich. So I don't know about common, but whatever. And then as they're about to enter, PPRP's like, I'm gonna do a funny, but I forgot what he was actually trying to do. I just remember that he ended up just like being between their butts. If I'm not mistaken.
He was gonna land between them and surprise them, I think was the plan.
Yeah, but that did not work out.
Yeah.
And it just got a little awkward, and he's just like, I'm just gonna keep on going and not acknowledge this weird fact.
You could have hero pointed that roll and not looked like an idiot. What were you thinking, Jason?
Yeah, that was worth it though.
And then they were like, we're gonna help you refit your ship because we may or may not feel bad. It's ambiguous.
Yeah, and they also kind of would prefer you guys not be in the way of things.
Yeah.
And you are also living in one of Luna's houses, and she kind of like it back.
But like she was also kind of a tyrant, so like bygones.
Yeah, and Harley got dragged away to prison.
Yeah, Harley's in jail somewhere. I don't know what jail, if she's in the anarchist jail. I don't, really, I think the entire island is kind of in anarchy now that I think about it.
Especially at this point, because the current power structure just got uprooted.
Yeah. So, there's that going on in the background. Hopefully, people aren't being murdered and robbed and cheated and all the other things that come with a stateless place. But we don't know. I don't remember if we ever actually looked into that.
Nope, you would not.
But we were promised free ship repairs and upgrades by the now deposed former rulers.
Yeah. And you did end up upgrading the Goblin War Raft that you had a hold of.
And we put the Green Lady as basically like a dinghy on there. It's not an actual dinghy, but you know what I mean. It's like a ship that goes on the ship, which I know there are dinghies that go on ships, but it's something different. Anywho, I'm trying to think of anything else that happened.
Yeah. And you've named your new war raft. It is named the Pony Express.
Yes, that's right. That was great. And the Yasuka not Grace Glimmer. Not Grace Glimmer. Sunbeam and Black Rock and Navigation Butt Lady.
Starfire
agreed to come with us.
Yep.
And it's especially useful with Starfire because she's got the stars on her rear.
Well, she has them across her entire coat, but yes,
I mean
that is a place that they are also.
This is That's the place that PPOP cares about.
How come we're always just navigating so far south?
That's just so weird. I don't know. Prevailing winds, currents, tides, floods, winds.
Exactly.
It's all very complicated. Very complicated. And then
that's pretty much where we wrapped up.
Yeah, we got.
So if there's anything we missed, it happened in the middle there. Well, you haven't left yet.
Yeah. Well, we were loading up.
Yeah. So we kind of like wrapped up the official part of the campaign right after they just promised you like ship upgrades, and then the ship upgrades were after. So nothing has really happened post that. in terms of the storyline. Anyone think of anything we forgot in there? Because I'm sure there's something. All right, then we'll go ahead and pick up from there. So you guys are still in the beach cabana, and we'll say that you are working with, the people that Luna and Celestia sent over to, take care of your boat. So talking about, move this piece over there. What if we stuck the obsidian ramming horn on here and made it look like a unicorn horn, like all the stuff that you guys did to your boat?
Did we decide to... No, we don't have the technology. JK.
It's like the opposite of the $1 Million Man. We don't have the technology.
Modern science just isn't there yet.
All right, so we'll say that that's been wrapped up, and you guys are free for the rest of the evening. You've got the unicorn workmen taking care of repairs and, getting everything seaworthy and putting together supplies and doing all of the modifications that you asked for. Do any of you want to help on that, or are you mostly happy to let the people, let the help do all the work?
How is Manoanui's condition? Is she like...
Oh, that's one big thing we forgot. Yeah, Manoanui talked to Topple.
Oh, that's right. And Manoanui discovered that she had been cast with a curse of muteness. That's right. I forgot about that.
Cast with a curse of muteness?
I was on mute for a lot of the session, and I didn't find that out until then.
Yeah.
So,
you just thought I was talking over you the whole time?
Basically, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, okay. I was like in the middle of something, but that's fine. I don't think anything substantial came out of that. I think it was just that the crown was irretrievable at that point, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, not necessarily. So you talked to Topple, and, the options for getting the crown were not great. Like, one of his suggestions was that you could skin Peepiopi and wear him like a skin suit to get in.
But, like, I kind of have an aversion to skinning my friends. Also, I'm not really in the position where I could, like, overpower Peepiopi, even with the element of surprise. I just kind of like drag my poor raggedy body up there with a little dagger and go.
So unfortunately, with it locked away behind the barrier, where only the relations of the queens can get in. Yeah, there's not really any good way for for Manoanui to get in, to get the crown, to give to Topple.
There's also some talk of like staying there for a few weeks, but like, forget that.
Right? So, yeah, it sounded like Topple suggested that he might just do it himself at some point. Yeah. That's about it. He also did drop a few hints about the backstory of this island.
Yes, he was talking about how it was kind of like grimmer than we would have like first, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, thought?
Yeah, he mentioned something about like cannibals.
Nice yeah, exactly. Which Manoanui is like, well, that's interesting, but also could be a red herring to get me off whatever I was asking him. And also Manoanui, when she went to bed that night, kind of looked at all the unicorns, and like had mental images of them like eating the company.
Well, that would be this evening. That hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, that is percolating then in the background.
Yeah, is anyone helping with the work on the ship, or are all of you gonna head off and do other things?
like I said, is Marwan, is she able to do it?
Not if Sammy catches you.
Okay.
Keep
Marwan
you up,
is
he's
going to
not
try
doing
and
work.
sneak out to kind of see what they're doing to the ship. See if she can't learn a thing or two about shipbuilding, watching them ship build. But I imagine that'd need like a stealth roll.
In your current condition, you're not even going to get to roll stealth. We're just going to see if Sammy manages to roll very poorly on a a perception check. All right, let's see. Skills. All right, they put it in combat. I always forget. There we go. Perception. She doesn't have a crazy high perception. All right, she only rolled 10, which is not great. So you can sneak out if you would like to.
I would.
Just keep in mind, you will be getting sand in your bandages.
Monoranui's still gonna sneak out so she can, like I said, see if she can't see. I don't know. Pick up a thing or two about learning. I'm sorry. About shipbuilding.
All right. Nothing terribly interesting. So the war raft is a fairly simple vessel. It's just large tree trunks. It's lashed together, basically. So it's basically a series of logs lashed together, and then there's a small structure built on top of it. And that's pretty much it. So nothing fancy. Like, even your old boat was actually probably more complex in terms of its construction.
Well, like I assume I'm watching them modify it, right?
So they are moving the obsidian prow over, and then they are actually modifying the prow to be like pointed like a unicorn horn, but that's purely cosmetic. What else did you do? They find some way to kind of like attach your old ship, the Green Lady, to the boat. And then they also move the storage container, the sealed storage containers over. That's, I think, all the modifications that you made.
Nothing like reinforcing the keel or something.
Nope, that was not a modification that you guys made.
I see.
Also, it doesn't have a keel, it's a raft.
They're not like putting in a keel.
Nope, nowhere to keel on this boat, unfortunately.
What if you just put a?
And if you want to know where the poop deck, the whole thing is the poop deck.
Nice. Well, righteous then. All right.
Was going to help on the boat.
Cool. You want to roll a crafting check? See if you can do some work.
I'll probably make it work.
That seems very Akalupu, though, so it's in character.
I got a 6.
All right, yeah, Akalupu is quote-unquote helping.
Big.
Anything Monowanui learned?
What was that, Abe?
I was gonna say, if anything, Monowanui learned how not to help.
Pretty much. Yeah, don't stand right where people need to be. Somehow, constantly. All right. So PPOP, what are you up to if you're not helping with the boat?
Doing what I do best. Sneaking.
All right. Whereabouts are you sneaking?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm just sticking to the shadows, trying to see what other people are up to. I don't really have a goal.
All right. Are you around the cabana? Are you around the work site? Going elsewhere on the beach? Back into Ponyville?
In Ponyville. Yeah,
right.
back in town.
So you're lurking about in the shadows. Are you alone, or did you bring anyone with you?
Alone.
All right. Definitely don't bring Yasuka if stealth is the goal. Good luck keeping her quiet long enough not to get spotted. But yeah, so yeah, you're lurking about in town. You found yourself the old church. The whole thing seems to have seen better days at this point. It's rather dusty, cobwebs in the corners. You see a statue of a unicorn, kind of in the central area, so kind of the object of worship, presumably. A statue of a unicorn with a mane spreading out behind her with a series of gems that you would definitely recognize as being the constellation that your tribe calls the Great Coconut Tree. But you have gathered the unicorns instead call her the Star Mother. And you've, managed to bypass the clergy and made your way up to the bell tower, and are, going full Hunchback of Notre Dame on the city below you. And yeah, it's an interesting thing to watch. Somehow, simultaneously, both peaceful and yet chaotic, where clearly people are still trying to figure out where things stand, but without any pressing forces. They can't really do much other than just try to go about their normal lives as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you do notice is rather interesting is in one alleyway, your sharp eyes do notice a very strange looking door that has teeth. And a very suspicious looking individual, a unicorn shrouded entirely in black robes, their face obscured by a veil, takes out a strange looking key. You really can't make out much from this distance, of course. Unlocks the door, walks through it, and then the door closes again.
And the door still has teeth after it eats him?
So the door doesn't seem to this door acts pretty normally. And yes, the teeth are still there, both above and below the main. So it's like a big open mouth, right? And the mouth doesn't swallow them or anything. They just kind of open the door, walk through it, and close it again.
Okay.
Nothing weird happens. It's not like the, Cave of Wonders from Aladdin swallowing someone or anything.
Freaking cannibals using mouths as doors.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, that's probably the most suspicious thing you notice. You do notice another slightly less suspicious individual wearing a unicorn trench coat going around everyone the alleys. They seem to be trying to sell watches or some such.
I'm gonna go visit Harley in the jail.
All right, so you're gonna have to ask around where the unicorn jail is.
Yeah, I guess I don't know where the jail is.
You don't.
Do I know where the police or the barracks are?
Yeah, you would know where the barracks are. There's actually one on the beach not far from here where Yasuka had been working.
Okay, I'm gonna go ask Yasuka where the jail is. I don't need to go ask random strangers. I have friends.
All right, so you head back to the beach cabana. You can see Akalupu. What trouble is Akalupu up to at this point? "Quote unquote" helping.
Akalupu just keeps carrying logs, but he's carrying the logs away from where they need them. and like putting them in piles, but like they don't know where he's putting them, so they just keep like reaching for log, and then it's just not there.
Nice. So you can see that off on the beach where you have had your war raft kind of pulled up so that it can be worked on. Presumably, Manawa Nui, you've given up and are back in the cabana, or are you still trying to discern their secrets?
Did Manawa Nui see PPOP going out and about, or no?
There's no way. PPOP's too sneaky for you.
Okay.
Too sneaky
then
for
Manawa
you.
Nui, she's gonna kind of meander kind of towards. I'm not where the docks are, but kind of like just up from the docks. So like if it's a town, probably like the docks section, if that's possible.
If you're going that far, Sammy will definitely catch you.
Oh. Well then, can Manawa Nui go help on the boat? Yeah, Manawa Nui's actually just gonna.
There's no one will accept the help of an invalid limping painfully along, wrapped head to toe in bandages.
Wow. Well, Manawa Nui then is going to. Manawa Nui's going to try and read the book that she stole from Topple.
All right. So, Manawa Nui is sequestered away somewhere, reading her tome of forbidden knowledge as you return PPOP.
So am I with Yasuka now, or what?
You'll need to find her. You're back at the cabana. Presumably Yasuka is still here. But yes, you'll need to find her.
Hey, Yasuka!
What is it? We're trying to figure out how to pack.
Take a break for a second. I have a question.
Okay. Then you hear some, distant talking, and then Yasuka comes trotting out of the cabana. What do you need, PPOP?
So I was gonna go see how Harley's doing in jail, where the jail is, and do you want to come with me?
Yeah. Though it is a good question. Where would they have taken her? Presumably, before all of this, she would have been taken to the prison either at Luna's castle or Celestia's castle, but I don't know if they're allowed to have prisoners anymore. So I guess maybe they took her to the Trotterton prison. That's probably the biggest one.
Where's that?
Yeah, that's over on the east side of the island.
That's kind of far away.
I mean, I could fly you there if you want.
Perfect.
All right,
Let's do it. Let's go pay Harley a visit.
Yeah, I still need to make more horrible faces at her. She thinks she won earlier, but I guarantee I can make a weirder face than she can.
You show her.
So yeah, so you go ahead and mount up. Yasuka takes you off, so, once again, you've flown over the island a few times. This is nothing terribly new, but, it's always fun to see the island stretch out underneath you as you're flying higher up. And there are, several different settlements. It's not just Ponyville plus 2 castles on this entire island. And you guys are headed toward one of the larger ones. It's getting a little later. It's not dark yet, but it's dark enough that you can see them starting to, light up the street torches and stuff. And you can really see the extent of the village. And, Ponyville was already easily 10 to 20 times larger than your village, your entire population of your island, really. So this is, probably a good 3 to 4 times bigger than Ponyville. So for you, probably a very overwhelming situation, especially once you land. And, unlike Ponyville, where things were sort of business as usual, Trotterton seems to be not quite a madhouse, but things are definitely moving a lot, and people are trying to settle into what's going on now. News of the day's events are still circulating across the population, and the roads are much different. Luckily these are the unicorns, and so you don't have the usual problems of a city of this size in this period of just like crap in the streets and everything smelling horrible. Thankfully, with unicorns, it's the opposite. Everything smells super nice, but it's very crowded. You're even just traversing the streets, you're getting jostled by other people, trying to go around. You still don't quite understand probably like the idea of going with the flow of traffic, but every time you try to leave it, you just get, bumped right back into position. But Yasuka does eventually bring you to a very large and imposing looking building, very boring as well, kind of just big square with windows, all of which are covered with bars. She brings you inside, and there's a very serious looking unicorn in a military outfit. Well, not military per se, but a guard's outfit. At the desk. Yes, what can I do for you?
I'm here to see a prisoner named Harley.
Yeah, everyone wants to see Harley.
Not as much as I want to see Harley.
All right, well, I can put you on the list. She's only allowed to have 1 hour of visitors per day. So probably here in like a couple months we can get you in.
I think you can get me in a couple of minutes.
And that would be why?
Yeah, can I roll like charm or something?
Sure, go for it.
I'm gonna roll diplomacy to try and convince her to let me be first.
Sounds good. Go ahead and roll it with advantage, so roll twice and take the better.
Okay, 18 or 24.
All right, so she, what do you say?
I say,
and you're successful if that matters to how you want to play this.
Yes, I tell her that me and Harley go way back, and if Harley doesn't get to see me, then something terrible might occur.
So she looks at you very skeptically for a minute and is like, wait a second. Are you that noodle monster? The one that like got the crown back and everything?
Oh, you've heard of me.
Yeah,
yes,
aren't
me.
you like half unicorn? Wasn't your mother like Grace Glimmer or something?
Yeah, you really know a lot about me.
Yeah, well, when something like this happens, people talk. Anyway, yeah, if you just like said that to start with, I would have sent you straight back. I am so sorry. Anyway, yeah, we can absolutely get you back there. So you guys are led back into the prison, very deep into the prison. You actually, rather than going up, so that it's probably a 2-story, maybe 3-story building, but rather than going up any stairs, you're brought to an area in the back where there is a door which has a huge metal It's a huge metal door, very securely locked, guards on either side. She instructs them to open it, double keys to get the whole thing open, to then turn the wheel. It's not metal, they don't have metal. Anyway, big stone door. With like an enormous like beam holding it in place and all that stuff. So they get that open, and then she takes you down a series of stairs into some sort of an underground level. And as you're traveling through this area, all of the doors are completely windowless, with a small wooden slat that seems like it could be opened toward the bottom of the door, probably to push a tray of food through. And you can hear, strange noises coming from all of these different doors. But you're led past them to one that is in the very end. And you are, it's once again a very impressive looking door. This one only has one guard in front of it. But the warden instructs this door also to be opened. And you can see it's very dim, but you can see into what appears to be a large room. She says, all right, you can go in. If you need anything, knock on the door and we'll let you out immediately. Just be very careful and do not approach the edge.
There's an edge.
Yeah.
Okay, I will stay away from the edge.
All right, so you go through the door. It is closed with a menacing thud behind you. And now, as your eyes are slowly adjusting to the very dim light, you can see there are a few holes in the ceiling, probably about, a couple of inches maybe around, which also seem to have a metal grating, or not a metal, like a wooden grating on the ends of them. And yeah, you can see in front of you as your eyes are adjusting there, it's a large circular room. The entire exterior of the room is a flat floor, and then about 5 or so feet away from the wall, it suddenly drops off into just a sheer cliff descending into blackness below. And then there is a good 30-foot gap before there is a small island in the very center of the room. And sitting rather, I don't know how to describe it, rather not in the greatest mood, is Harley.
Hey, Harley. Good to see you.
Yeah, sure. Noodle Monster. Great. Are you here to gloat or whatever?
No, I am actually here to check on you.
Yeah, well, a lot of good that's gonna do, but whatever. I kind of deserve, I guess, something, though I feel like this is a little extreme. It's not like I, eat people or something weird.
Well, they gave you a really nice toilet built into your cell, so...
Yeah, one downside is, it may look bottomless, but it's not, so, whatever goes down there stays down there. Yeah, I have a bucket.
Oh. Well, that's less fun.
Yeah.
I take it that means you tried.
What? Tried climbing out? Yeah, I tried, but,
No, using the gap as a toilet.
I've only been here for, a few hours, so no.
Oh, that would have been the first thing I tried.
Yeah, you're...
Well, I was wondering if you, could tell me anything about why my mom left. Grace Glimmer.
Yeah, I know who your mom is. We were, really good friends back in the day. I guess all of us were, but ever since she left, I guess things just fell apart, without her there to, I don't know, I guess, keep us from killing each other, or at least trying to. We just, like, I guess, went to trying to kill each other, which, you know, that went great for everybody. But yeah, as far as why she left or whatever, I don't know. Grace Glimmer was always like, you know, like a free spirit, you know? And yeah, I guess she like didn't really want all of the responsibilities of being queen and having to like run a whole country and everything.
Well,
I
did you
mean,
try and stop her?
stop her from doing what? From like leaving?
Yeah, from abdicating.
I didn't exactly have much of a choice. She like, well, I guess now we know faked her death, but like everyone thought she was dead, and it's not like I could get into the crypt to like verify it like you can.
Oh, that's a good point.
So yeah.
Also,
Like I
do you
kind
know
of
anything? You know anything about a club or something that has a mouth for a door?
no.
Weird.
Why would your door be a mouth? That sounds like just like trying to get eaten by a monster or something.
That's why I'm asking about it. It seemed weird.
Yeah, that seems super weird.
Well, thanks for the info. I'm glad you're doing okay.
Well, I'm not
Oh,
dead
wait.
at least, so I guess thank you for that. I don't know, though, depending on how long I'm in here, I may kind of preferred if you had killed me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yasuka may want to help you with that.
Jeez.
Well, did you did you have Yasuka also come in with you, or is it just you?
I figured Yasuka was in here with me.
All right, so yeah. So Yasuka's like, yeah, like, can you beat this? And she scrunches her face up in such a contorted manner that you're not sure how a horse's face can even do it. But you're gonna have to make a will save if you don't want to fall over laughing.
We'll see. 25.
All right, you do not. You manage, like, you can't suppress a snicker, but you manage to keep your footing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, beat that. So Harley's just like, don't friggin' do that. Fine, you win, whatever. It still hurts to laugh. Yeah, because we kicked your butt. Boom.
All right, ladies. Let's stop fighting now. Yasuka, we better get back and help with the packing.
Yeah.
Harley, we will
also,
not be seeing you.
Yeah, see ya, loser. Speaking of the packing, though, Yasuka says as she knocks on the door to be let out, you may need to talk to Starfire. She's trying to pack like 12 unicorns worth of stuff. Anyway, I don't think it'll even fit on our boat.
Oh boy. Classic Starfire.
All right, so you guys are let back out. Zordon says, "Was it helpful?" You can see
No.
we take keeping her secured very seriously.
Well, keep it up. She is a menace to society.
Yeah.
And if I find out that she got free, I will personally come after you with my noodle hands.
Don't worry, that won't be necessary. We will keep a very careful eye on her. She won't so much as be able to fart without us noticing.
Perfect. Okay, we're out of here.
All right, so you guys head back out. She's gonna fly you back. She says, "Hey, while we're here, there is this really awesome bakery. We should totally pick up some pastries for everyone."
Don't have to tell me twice.
All right, so you guys pick up some mouth-watering pastries. Do any of them actually make it back to the cabana?
I am not eating them, so unless Yasuka's eating them in flight.
Yasuka's busy flying.
So yeah, they'll make
So unless
it.
you wanted to feed her, then yeah, they'll make it. All right, so you guys return. Not Pipiopi, Manawanui. So you're reading this book, and you still don't really know quite, like you still don't quite understand the this demonic language. You feel like it's a very tricky language. You know, the one that you've created was largely just a way of, you know, writing down your own speech. You know, understandably. This book, though, even what little you've managed to figure out, you feel like only half of it makes sense, and even that half you feel like must have some secondary meaning. You're not sure how much of that is just the book you picked up and how much of it is the demonic language in general. Unfortunately, you blew your chance to get a hold of a second tome.
Right.
But you're slowly still working your way through it. It doesn't feel good, though. The more you read, the more you understand of what the text actually says, the more it just feels ominous. Like you're coming closer and closer to finding things that you're not sure you really want to know. But of course, your curiosity compels you.
Run like a moth to a flame.
All right, Agalubu, you continue, I'm sure, to make life difficult for all the workers. Have you progressed on to flirting with all of the workers? Because of course, all of these are female.
Of course.
You know, anyone who actually does any work that you've run into so far on this island has been female. Anytime you've run into any of the stallions, it seems like they're always just like goofing off, pretty much.
Lubu's definitely flirting with all of them.
All right. Yeah, PPOP, you and Yasuka return. At this point, it's getting pretty late, pretty dark. So I'm sure the work has kind of ceased by the time you get back, and people have transitioned to other things.
I totally didn't plan for the work to be done by the time I got back. That was definitely not what I intended to do.
Definitely
So
an
sad.
accident. Totally not the plan.
All right, so everyone is goes inside. You know, dinner is provided. And if you thought that Starfire, is it Starfire? Yeah, not Starfire. Sunbeam. So if you thought that Sunbeam's cooking was already good, now you have a chance to eat a meal prepared by both Sunbeam and Sammy. And yeah, it'll be hard to go back.
The power of teamwork.
Exactly.
Well, that's why we're taking them on our ship. I mean, that's why they volunteered to
Yeah.
come on our ship.
Exactly. Akalupu is
no.
definitely trying to get some of the unicorns, some of the workers to volunteer to come on your ship too. But
I'm sure. Mono Inui's, I assume, not out in the common room.
that's up to
Wherever
you.
this is happening. Oh.
I mean, I kind of assumed that you like hid yourself in the rafters again or something, just not to be around people, especially with an extremely, like, very clearly creepy and sinister looking book.
Don't worry about it.
Like,
guys.
this thing has a face on the cover, and you're pretty sure is bound in skin of some sort of sentient creature. You know, every once in a while, you're pretty sure you can hear like a murmur coming from the book.
Yeah, Mono Inui is far away from people. Well, you know, as far away as you can be in a beach cabana. Reading her tome. So then, no.
All right. Well, unless you want to miss dinner, you'll have to put the book away.
I guess so. It's
At least for a little while. Yeah, like you can smell it. You've been smelling it for probably the last hour as they've been cooking it up. So if you weren't hungry before, you certainly are now.
I guess Mono Inui will come and eat.
All right. So I'm sure the whole rigmarole, as always, you have to convince Yasuka to actually not try to eat with the guys, just because, you know, you don't want to break another tooth out. Or, you know, struck by lightning or any of the other various terrible things that can happen to you. So yeah, the meal goes quite nicely. You know, there's quite a bit of argument among the unicorns about the amount of stuff that they're packing, and whether or not it'll all fit on the boat. Is anyone going to try to intervene as the voice of reason? Or just let them settle it amongst themselves?
Inui will try and intervene. Say, listen, only got a set number of storage space, and from that we need to use most of that for food and water.
Yeah, but what if we go to like an event and I have to wear like, you know, a fancy dress, and then if I have the dress, I have to have the shoes that go with it, and if I've got the shoes, then I need the earrings, and like it's a whole thing. But then like if the theme is different, you know, I might need the green one, which needs its own shoes, because I can't wear the blue shoes with the green dress. That's gonna look stupid.
Well, who says that these will match their style? If anything, if we go to a civilization that's advanced enough to have events, we'd probably want to dress like they do.
I mean, I guess that's true. Not that you guys ever really dressed up. Like, you guys all just run around in like your butt flaps and stuff all the time.
We dressed up for the gala.
Yeah. But what if we need to dress up for another gala?
Well, then we can get clothes from wherever these people are.
So yeah, the conversation goes on like that. Eventually, you know, it's worked down to a reasonable level, of mostly useful items. So yeah, anything else people want to do with their evening?
All
right, so then we'll go.
Oh,
Sure, go ahead if you had something.
I was gonna say, I think Mono Inui's gonna talk to one of the probably who's the lady? Starfire, about if she's there, about their writing system.
Yeah, so it's like just a phonetic alphabet, I guess. Like, you know, each of the symbols is like, a vowel and a consonant. You gotta like, say them. And so like this one that looks like an upward horseshoe, this one is ya, and this one is like a downward horseshoe is si. And so like that's the first two letters of my name, though of course the si, if it comes after a ka, actually says pe. Anyway, and so, yeah, you immediately you're lost. They don't have a very reasonable writing system. Now, if you wanted to spend weeks to learn it, you absolutely could, but
Not really to learn it, but more to get like the principles and stuff.
yeah. So you do that. You definitely get some ideas for ways you could improve your own language. You also come up with some areas that you're like, oh, these are things that I was doing that are inconsistent and stupid, and now that I'm having to try and learn them from the outside, I recognize that they're actually just kind of dumb, and I could simplify them.
Yes. Write down these observations, or at least write in quotations.
Write them down in your brain. I mean, your language is at a point where you could write something in it. Mostly, you need the tools. You need something to write on, and something to write with.
I don't know. He's going to ask. So how do you guys write your words?
Yeah, so it depends. Like a lot of them are carved, if you want them to last for a long time, we carve them into like stone with a chisel. If you're just trying to write something a little bit quicker, then you get like these moist wooden tablet, or not wooden, clay tablets. And then we have these like pokey sticks, and she pulls out a little stick that has kind of like a U shape at the end. Basically, it's shaped like a horseshoe. And yeah, you just kind of like push in the right spots to make like the shape you need. Here, I can like show you in this sand. So she kind of shows you in like some wet sand on the beach. Yeah, but you would just like do it in like, wet clay, and then it would dry out, and then, it like lasts pretty well.
And do you just like carry clay around with you?
Not really. Like normally you don't need to just like write something down. Usually it's, when you need to, like for class or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've written anything like since I had to do it for school, because like it's kind of dumb. Like just remember stuff. Like there's this one unicorn philosopher who like thinks that it's actually making everyone stupid because they're like writing things down instead of just remembering them, and like that guy pretty smart.
That's interesting. Where is there a way we could pack some of these clay tablets, or do we have to buy them, or do we?
You could pack them, but they like dry out pretty quick, so I don't know how you'd keep them like usable. You pretty much just have to like, bring clay with you and then just like get it wet when you need it.
Huh. Interesting. Well, is there is your island particularly rich in clay?
I mean, not like particularly. I mean, there's clay. Like you can get it. I wouldn't say that we're like rolling in it, which is good because clay is generally like not the best soil for crops.
Huh. Interesting. Mono Anui's gonna kind of try and see if See if she can't find any. She doesn't quite understand. Well, did we have clay on our old island?
Oh yeah. I don't think
okay.
you were using it for anything terribly interesting. Like you hadn't figured out how to make bricks or anything out of it. But you would definitely be familiar with that type of soil and the way that, it gets soft and malleable when it's wet and then becomes very hard when it dries out.
Kind of like where it's found ish.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's not too late in the night, Mono is going to try and find some clay.
Well, we'll see if Sammy will let you. I hope she rolls terribly again. She did not. So yeah, as soon as you're trying to like get up and get around, Sammy is just like, no, you need to be careful. You're still really hurt and those wounds could absolutely open up again. You need to just take it easy and rest.
But we're leaving tomorrow.
Yeah, and you can rest on the boat. You'll be fine.
I agree. I can rest on the boat. So just let me go out and explore for now.
What, in the middle of the night?
Suppose you're right. So probably just lay down here.
Well, you don't want to go and find more slimes, in your extreme. You don't want to go into the woods and, get ambushed by slimes again in your extremely wounded state.
No,
By yourself.
Just gonna go look on the beach and see if there's, any clay on the beach.
Spoilers, there's no clay on the beach.
Well,
there's a lot of sand and rocks on the beach. There's some shells.
I guess Mono
Some driftwood.
will go to bed. Guess she will get some rest.
Yeah, beach, not the right place to look for clay. All right, anything else? All right, sounds like everyone else is more or less just kind of wrapping up. So the night passes uneventfully, unless someone wants to do something. And the next morning dawns, and you guys find yourselves, very exhausted from the previous day and everything that went on. And even those of you who normally wake up early find yourselves actually sleeping in more than you would have. So by the time you guys awaken, the sun has already, made a decent bit of progress up into the sky.
Oh. Mono Anui's gonna get up and see if anybody else is up.
All right. Did you probably just spend the first half of the night, in your little hidey spot reading the book?
Yes.
All right. So yeah. So then by the time you wake up, other people are kind of starting to stir around the same time, except for Akalupu, who, as is his custom, has buried himself in his giant nest in the main room and has reinforced it with a series of sharp spikes that he has, got poking out. Just to dissuade anyone from awakening him.
Mono Anui's not going to mess with that. Mono Anui's. What?
It's working as intended.
Yeah, Mono Anui is going to, I guess, if Sammy's not awake.
Sammy's awake.
Oh, she is? Thanks.
Yep.
Well, I guess Mono Anui's going to eat breakfast then.
Right.
Like a normie.
Everyone eats breakfast and then presumably you guys head out toward the boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So you're headed out toward the boat, and there on the beach, you see a couple of strangely familiar figures sprawled out on a couple of recliners. Each of them has a large jug of, you presume, it seems like wine, most likely. And they're sitting on these recliners under a couple of very large umbrellas, chatting like old friends. They definitely stand out because they are not unicorns; they are human, but they look very familiar.
Who are they?
So you go closer, and soon enough, you recognize, if for no other reason than just by their voices, appears to be Luna and Celestia. In their human forms, it would be downplaying it to say that they are curvaceous. They're just chilling on the beach, sunbathing, in their couple of little I'm blanking on the word, bikinis. That's the word. enjoying a glass of wine together.
Mono Anui has strange and confusing feelings.
Just like the whole internet after they showed Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village.
Yes.
So wait, they're not on our raft, they're just on the beach.
Correct. They're just on the beach, chilling. Not too far off from where the raft is. They are facing toward the beach, so you are behind them, though, so they're not going to see you until you either pass or approach them.
I'm gonna go right for the raft.
All right. So yeah, once you pass them, Celestia says, "Oh, hey, if it isn't Peepee-Opie." And Luna says, "Yeah, you still enjoying my house?"
I don't know what you're talking
about. You do realize I'm pretty sure that my daughter would have told you by now that beach cabana is mine? Anyway, it doesn't...
Oh, that house. I mean... Yeah, but you have lots of houses that...
Yeah, it is nice to be rich sometimes.
So I don't see how it could be a problem. I'm in your house.
It's not a problem per se, especially since you're going to be gone soon. Or just, I like to have my things available. Anyway.
Well, what if I took it with me?
That'd be pretty hard. Honestly, if you could do that, I think I would just be impressed. Anyway, your boat seems to be in pretty good repair. It should be ready to go by this afternoon, is what the workers are telling me. Right now, they're mostly just loading up the supplies.
Well, I'm gonna go give them a hand.
All right, have fun.
Sure.
So they
just walk away.
Yeah, and they just laugh very much as if they were in on a joke that you don't understand, and clink their wine glasses.
That was weird.
A lot more chill.
I will point out, Mawanui, if you wanted clay as some of your supplies, now would be the chance to ask someone to have that included, rather than trying to get it on your own.
Mono Anui, yeah. Is there like a taskmaster who's like watching over
Oh
We're
yeah, there's
managing
definitely a unicorn with a clipboard standing around, giving orders.
Mono Anui is gonna go up to her and say, excuse me, if we could add some clay to the provisions.
Yeah, that should be easy enough. How much do you need?
About. I'm assuming I don't. Do I know weights?
Like
Any
6
type
spells
of-
worth.
6 what?
6 spells worth about.
Yeah, about 6 spells worth. I know about this much, and Mononoi's gonna make a. I don't know, maybe a I don't know, something bigger than a softball, but smaller than a basketball size.
All right, cool. All right, we'll call that 6 horseshoes worth. That should be enough. Anything else you need to make sure is included?
If you have what would they be called? Like a writing instrument, like a little stone writing piece or something.
You have no idea.
Okay, maybe something to make indentations in the clay.
All right, 1 stylus.
Stylus. I think that's about good for me.
All right, it is on my list.
Mono Anui is gonna blushingly get onto the boat.
All right. So in due order, everything is loaded on board. As everything is being done, Luna and Celestia just continue to chill on the beach, looking extremely smug.
Hey, so I feel like someone should kind of find out why they seem very satisfied with themselves. Has anybody else noticed that? Just me?
Wait, what did we notice?
Oh, that they seem very satisfied with themselves, very smug.
Yeah, I don't know what's gotten into them.
Yeah, I get a slightly feeling that there's something malicious going on.
Maybe this is just them being friends. Gross.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's very much like 2 middle-aged lady friends enjoying a glass of wine in a hot tub kind of vibes.
Well, makes Mono Anui uncomfortable, so Mono Anui is going to go below.
All right, so below decks in this case is, like I said, it's a raft. So you have just basically a floor with a small building on it. The building was sized for the cocoa biters. And even for them, it would have been pretty cramped. For you guys, if you want to go into the inside, which basically there's the raft, and then kind of middle back, there's a small raised building on top of which there is then the ballista. But yeah, you can go inside of that small raised building. However, it is very much like an army crawl to navigate.
Maybe I'll have to change this at some point. Is that where all of our provisions are being kept, or?
The majority of your storage, I would assume, is down there. It's much less likely for things to get washed off or roll overboard or, things like that in there.
Well, Mono Anui's gonna crawl to a secluded spot back there, and
all right, you find an area right by all of the fetid chum that you guys have been storing.
Is it And by secluded, I mean a spot that like no one would usually go.
Yep, sounds like fetid chum to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna store some of the valuables, like the book and I got like a silver pendant at some point. I'm gonna put that in there. Yeah.
All right. So in due course, everything is loaded up and you guys are ready to cast off at any time.
I don't know. Suddenly I have a hankering for some fetid chum.
Oh no,
Just
that
kidding.
stuff is gross. You don't want that. It's been sitting there in the sun for God knows how long.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does not smell great over there. Akalupu is still very proud of it, I have to imagine.
Yeah. Well, it's about midday now. Would that be correct?
It's a little bit after midday at this point.
Do we want to take off so late in the day, or whatever? Well, I guess I'm. What's my role on the ship? I kind of forgot what my.
You are captain.
Oh.
So
Well,
you
look
get
at
to
that.
decide.
Yeah, so you are, let's see, boat rolls. That's not it. PCs. There we go. You are the captain, so you give bonuses during combat and theoretically call the shots.
Alrighty. Well, PPOP, how does the wind look? How does the weather? Is it favorable for setting sail?
That's a good question. Why don't we...
Does PPOP is the one who did the weather rolls and checks, right?
That's correct. He is the navigator.
Okay.
So, why don't we go ahead and roll those and find out? So, to start with, Jason, I will need a D100 for the starting weather and a D100 for the starting wind.
D100.
All right, so 36 for the starting weather. So that puts you at windy with somewhat rough seas. And then for the starting wind, we have an 80, which puts it at somewhat unfavorable.
That would be a negative, Captain. Sea's looking not great.
We should wait till tomorrow to set sail. Try and leave with the tide.
Aye, aye. Best tell the crew.
Starfire's like, but we just got all our stuff on the boat.
Well, I was planning on spending the night on the boat.
It's cramped and smelly here. I guess we have to get used to it though, but like, I don't know. I really don't want to have to spend here if I don't exactly have to.
If I have the option to spend the night on land, I am going to do that. I don't care if I'm kicked out of the cabana. I will sleep under some rocks.
Yeah. Also, we are definitely going back in the cabana if we stay here tonight because, like, my mom can't tell me not to anymore.
Yeah, we'll show her.
Yeah.
Suit yourselves. I'm gonna stay on the ship, the boat. I don't know if it's ship in classification.
I think it's raft in classification.
You are not wrong. All right, so Yasuka's like, well, if we're gonna be here for the rest of the day, what if we went and had a girls' night massage? You can definitely still come PPOP even if you're not a girl.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Anyone else want to come? Okay, just the
mass. Does
Akalupa wants to go.
do we know what a massage is?
We'll say yes.
Okay.
I mean, does Akalupu need to know what a massage is to want to go with the girls?
Hmm.
All right. I'll stay here with Manoa Nui. She definitely is not up for a massage. Just physically,
Yes.
I think that would be a terrible idea right now.
That is the only reason.
All right, so girls' night massage for everyone else. Sammy's gonna be keeping an eye on you, Manoa Nui, so you can try to do.
Sammy.
You can try to get away with something if you want. So, what is there
Manoa
anything
Nui-
you want to do?
I don't know. He's just kind of like observe the island. Kind of. Do we? We don't have a. We have a mast, don't we?
Yes, there is a mast and a sail on your raft.
Is there like a spot on the top of the mast to
No, nothing near large enough to have like a crow's nest type setup.
sit? Well, then Manu would just kind of sit on the. I don't even know if we have a prow. I kind of forgot what our boat looked like. But from what I remember, it's like a big square. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. It is a raft. Here, let me send you back over here. Is this the right one? No, this is not the right one. Boat combat. There we go. Send you over to boat combat.
Oh, okay.
There is your raft.
Well, Manoa is just kind of sit on deck and read her book while maybe looking at the sea and the stars and the island and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Sounds good. All right, so another uneventful night. The next dawn rises. You come out. Once again, Luna and Celestia. This time they're back in their unicorn forms, but they are once again, you know, hanging out, looking smug, drinking wine.
You can actually look at them now and say, well, thank you for the ship repairs, and if we get our... How's the weather look?
All right, so 2 change in weather rolls. We have a 38 for the change in weather. 38. So it is now drier than it was before, but still windy with somewhat rough seas, but drier. There's not much of room for it to go from there. And then for the change in wind, we have a 26, which makes it slightly more favorable. So you've gone from somewhat unfavorable winds to somewhat favorable winds.
Let's set sail.
Let's do it.
All right.
Everyone say your goodbyes.
Oh, yeah.
Silicon Valley, you have not seen The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah. Anna, you and Abe at some point need to figure out what you want to do for the island's icon.
Yes.
So I'll just see if I can find a placeholder for now. Let's see. There we go, good enough. And then set it to be controlled by, come on. It won't let me edit it. What if I refresh the page? There we go. Controlled by all players, save. And this is another one that you actually know the general, you know the location of. So it's fairly straightforward to get to it. It is right there. Go ahead and mark it with the green dot. Because you have a few different charts that give you the location. You have the map that the Cocoa Biters left on their boat, you know, on purpose, not because they all got murdered or anything.
Wow.
And then you also know from the description that the unicorns gave you of where the beam of light came down, and yeah. So this is another island that you know where it is. It's just a matter of getting to it.
Nice. Alrighty.
So we'll go ahead and pretty much skip the first 2 days just to make navigation easier. So go ahead and put yourself 1 square away from the island. I'm assuming you just go there.
Yes.
All right.
As
So
the captain, that's my executive decision.
we'll pick up from there. So you guys have been out on the ocean for a couple of days. First thing you'll need to decide, well, I guess first we roll for weather. So I'm going to need another couple of D100s. All right, so 78 for the change in weather, which is calmer and wetter. So you are going down from windy with rough seas to gusty winds with rough patches and foggy.
Well, it was dry before, so does that affect anything?
Yes, that's why it's foggy and not raining.
Oh, okay.
And then 52 for the change in wind. That is going to make the wind slightly less favorable, so you are back to somewhat unfavorable winds. So you'll need to decide if you are rowing today, or if you are going by sail power alone.
We'll go by sail power.
All right, then you will move half a square in the desired direction. PPOP, go ahead and roll a navigation check for me. So you're using survival for that.
Yes, I. $25.
All right. So you are confident of your location. Go ahead and move yourself half a square in your desired direction. Oh yeah, and I forgot I was supposed to roll that. So hold down Alt to be able to drop without it snapping to the grid.
Aha.
Nice. All right. And who wants to roll a D100 for the random events table?
I'll do. Unless
Go for it.
already /R 1D100. 21.
All right.
21.
21. All right. So that night, as you are continuing to sail, a thick fog rolls in, completely blotting out your ability to see the stars.
Bring out the booty. I'm just kidding.
So,
But actually,
yeah. So, what are you gonna do? Because you either have to like basically just hold position, like pull down the sail and try not to drift too far off, of course, because there's no landmarks obviously without the stars for you to navigate by. You could easily be sailing straight back to Silicon Valley and not know it.
I figured we'd bring out Starfire.
yeah, but that doesn't. Starfire's coat doesn't give us our position, so it doesn't really help, does it?
What does your coat actually give us? Does it give us the stars right above us, or like?
So it reflects the actual positions of the stars in the sky. Now, you'll need to figure out how to correlate that to, like, okay, where should we be seeing in the sky? How does that map? Because it's not, obviously she is horse shaped, not spheroid. So it's not going to be a straight up map of like, all right, this is easy, you know, this is where we are on her buns, and this must be the correct stars, and so we're actually like going this way. Like, it's gonna take some effort to develop.
Figure it out. We'll have to like sit down and map it out.
So do you want to just take in the sails and then start trying to work on figuring that out with Starfire?
That sounds like a good plan.
All right.
Seems like a bad time to figure that out if there's no stars in the sky.
That's true. Maybe you just have that same discussion, basically.
Yeah.
That we need to figure out how to do this, because it would be very convenient.
Yeah, next time there's stars, we'll, you know, point to a spot on Starfire and point to a spot in the sky that matches up to it and, you know, draw a legend of horse body to sky body.
Alrighty. So so you guys have that conversation, and then as you're, you know, trying to figure out what to do, you notice floating more or less straight ahead of the boat, 3 glowing green orbs floating in the fog.
Pretty. I think we should grab them.
I was going to say, where are they? Like, how far from the boat are they?
It's impossible to tell in the fog. They could either be enormous and very far away, or tiny and very close.
Mono, I know he's going to walk to the prow of the boat. And,
You mean the front of the raft?
That is correct.
Well, it does have a prow, so at least that one is accurate.
The prow of the raft, and reach out with her hand and see if she can't touch them.
All right, you can't touch them. Your air just passes through the fog. They're clearly not within reach.
Can't touch this.
Magical about them.
I mean, they're 3 glowing floating orbs, so certainly seems like there's something magical about them.
I've got detect magic.
All right, you detect magic faintly all around you.
So they're not dragonflies.
They are definitely not dragonflies.
One down. Not dragonflies. What are just glow bugs? Is that what they're called? Just glow bugs. Fireflies. They're not fireflies.
Yep. And they are also definitely not the glow bugs like the ones you left behind on Outset Isle.
Well, Mono, and he's going to call out to them and say, hello?
There's no response other than the gentle lapping of waves against the sides of your raft.
Akalupu is going to throw a stick at them.
All right, your stick splashes into the water some distance in front of the boat.
Mono Anui is going to... PPOP, do you think... I think one of us should tie a rope around ourselves, one end to the ship, and then kind of swim out there.
Or we could not. That sounds dangerous.
Then we'll never know what these orbs are.
Maybe that's a good.
Akalupu's fine with that.
Sakabuku volunteering?
To not go to the orbs? Yes.
Volunteering to not go to the orbs.
Oh.
Mano Anui, I think maybe you should get some rest.
Akalupu agrees. Akalupu's gonna.
You're having
pick
some
Mono
crazy
up
ideas.
Mono's
put him
agree with.
in the
What did Akaluku say? I missed it.
Akalupu's picking Manoanui up and putting him inside the ship.
Can Akaluku fit inside the ship?
Yes, though it is definitely a tight squeeze.
He's tucking you in like a little baby. There.
Yeah,
Right,
now
when the
none of the
three orbs
unicorns
destroy the
can
ship.
fit.
Orbs destroyed the ship. Don't say I didn't warn you.
All right, so who's taking watches? Obviously, we're not doing the normal one with Akalupu or with Manoanui being injured the way she is. So I'm assuming you're not doing like one watch for PPOP and then the rest of it on Manoanui.
Akalupu will take the first watch.
That's not a good idea.
All right, and who's
Okay.
taking second watch?
PPOP.
All right, and third watch?
Monoanui volunteered.
Yasuka.
If that makes a difference.
Manoanui is summarily turned down, if that makes a difference.
You're sleeping, Manoanui. Sleep. Ever heard of it?
All right, so all three watches pass without any sort of unusual events. The orbs just continue to float off in the distance. And as the morning comes in, let's get another weather roll. So 2 more D100s, please.
Coming right up.
All right, a 22 and an 82. So 22 means that it is wetter. So the fog has turned into an actual rain. And an 82 means that you will be re-rolling the wind. So go ahead and give me one more D100. All right, 54. That puts the winds back in somewhat favorable. All right, so the dawn rises. Sometime as the sun was coming up, the orbs simply disappeared without a trace.
Bye-bye, orbs. You will haunt Manoanui's dreams.
We'll never know what you did.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get. Well, first, are you rowing or still under sail power?
I mean, Monoanui is not volunteering to row.
Yeah, no, it would be like Akalupu and Yasuka mostly.
I think we should make up for the time we lost at night, and I think we should row.
I agree.
Akalupu's good with that.
All right.
Well,
In this case, nothing. So PPOP, you have a +7 on survival, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go ahead and roll your navigation check. You are very confident that you are correct on your location, and go ahead and move yourself 1 whole square because you are rowing.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, you can't go at angles. You gotta go straight. So
no,
yeah,
I thought
you can move
because
there.
I was just going to go 1 square, I could just drag and not alt, but because I'm landing on a half.
Yep, got alt. But yeah, so that's good. And let's get another D100 on the random events table.
I got it.
It's /R instead of R/.
Wrong direction.
There we go, a 14. Rolling some low ones today. All right, so as you are sailing through during the day, you find yourself passing, you notice that the ocean below you, rather than having its normal greenish tinge, greenish bluish tinge, has kind of a pinkish tinge.
Mono is gonna dip her hand into cup some water out of the ocean.
So you look down into the ocean around you, and you see that you are sailing through a school of pink octopoid-like creatures. If that changes your plan at all.
It does. Mono is no longer good. Well, Mono still is gonna put her hand into the water, but not like cup water out of it.
All right, so you reach your hand into the water, and almost as soon as your hand makes contact with the surface of the ocean, it seems that you've startled a couple of these kind of like octopoid creatures, and they suddenly jet off away from you, leaving behind a trail of very bright pink liquid that just stains the entire ocean around where you reached down. And when you draw your hand out, it feels very oily and slippery.
Is it a different color or no?
It's pink.
Okay.
Very bright pink.
Mono is going to try and capture one of these things.
All right, well, Akalupu has created nets, I believe, so that should be possible.
Ooh, well, Mono is going to use a net. I'm going to have to use your Roll20, dear, because mine is in the room with a sleeping child.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, well, nothing to really roll here. You throw the net in. I guess actually there should be a survival roll from someone. Let's see, what is Mono Anui's survival?
The benefit thing.
I can roll.
All right, survival is at a +6.
+6.
If you need me to roll that, I can.
So
19.
25.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you are easily able to haul aboard about a dozen or so of these creatures. They are about the size of like a 1.75 liter bottle. If that is a frame of reference that is familiar.
It's like almost like a Coke, large Coke bottle.
Yeah, almost like a 2 liter of soda.
Well, Mono Anui.
As you capture them, they continue to squirt this pink liquid everywhere, and anything it touches immediately becomes extremely slick. And it's just spraying, they're just spraying it out at this point.
Well, Mono Anui is going to kill one.
Mono Anui's gonna do what?
Kill at least one.
All right.
Actually, Mono Anui is going to try and kill them all.
It's fair. They're fairly helpless once they've been dragged out of the ocean. Several of them manage to like squeeze through, openings in the net, or jump around or grab people and surprise them. But you're able to probably kill about 5 of them successfully.
Right.
At this point, pretty much that entire side of the raft is a hazard zone, though. The entire thing is covered in this pink liquid that is just extremely slick.
Your microphone's on, bother, babe. Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, that's totally a touchdown. Mono Anui is with her prize. She's going to carefully try and cut into them. Like, just at least with one. She's going to start with one and try to dissect it.
It's a squid.
See if she can't. Does she find any, like, ink sacs?
Yeah.
Are they?
I mean, if
intact?
you rupture it, it squirts all over you.
Yeah. Well, she's going to try not to rupture it.
We'll say you're able to get a couple out intact.
Okay. Yeah, that's really all she's after is the ink sacs of them all intact.
All right, you have discovered pink lube.
Nice. She's gonna store it in a. We have something we have like water skins, right?
Yeah, you have all of your containers seal. That's one of the things you specifically wanted.
We have an empty one.
Do you have an empty one? Easy to check. Not currently. You could get rid of some of the fetid chum.
She's gonna get rid of some of the fetid chum.
All right, so that is slot 4 on the green lady.
Can someone mind adding that to slot 4?
Yep,
Thank
I
you.
have updated slot 4. It's no longer fetid chum. It is now pink lube.
Nice.
So now your book and your necklace or medallion are next to the pink lube instead of fetid chum.
Now, really, there should be no reason for anybody to go near it.
You're on an island full of an island. Your boat is full of unicorns.
Well, it's my pink lube, okay?
We'll tell that to Yasuka.
Well, Mawanui is also going to kind of try and cook some of the meat.
All right, it's squid, just some nice calamari.
Delicious.
Good, actually.
Oh yeah,
We're eating squid tonight.
Oh yeah. Sunbeam and Sammy are absolutely able to whip that up into a very nice meal. And Akalupu is happy because this is the first meat he's had in a while. All right.
Akalupu says makes up for getting rid of the fetid chub.
No, I said almost makes up. Almost makes up for getting rid of my fetid jump.
A little different. All right. So, yeah, that's. I feel like that takes all day, probably.
Oh yeah. All right. So that you already moved for today, right, Jason?
Yes, we moved for today.
All right. So next day, let's go ahead and get our weather rolls. All right, 62 and 53. 62 gets you calmer and drier, so the rain settles down. It's now just the remnants of fog, and you are now in slightly breezy with mostly calm seas. And then for the wind, a 53 is going to make it slightly less favorable, so that is going to put you back to somewhat unfavorable winds. So let's get another navigation check. You're not super confident in your location. You're pretty sure, but not entirely confident that you're navigating despite the fog. Unfortunately, you really haven't had much in the way of open skies. Like, you've been navigating mostly based off of gaps in the clouds. And of course the sun during the day, you can tell the location of the sun well enough to tell, east, west, and figure it out from there. So are you rowing?
See, why not? Just had some protein.
Alrighty. And we're just gonna skip those rolls. Normally you'd roll athletics, but we're just gonna skip those to make things move a little faster. So PPOP, you can go ahead and move yourself 1 square. All right, and then let's get a D100 for your random event table.
My turn.
All right, an 84. Finally a high roll. Let's see.
Big money, big money.
Let's see if that gets you anything good. Squids again. Let's see.
Squids again.
Squids again. So you find yourselves passing by a very small island. It basically like a deserted island kind of thing, or a desert island kind of thing. So, not even big enough to really set up anything resembling civilization. But you do see a number of humanoid figures which seem to be raised up on poles on the island.
Huh. That seems friendly.
Oh yeah.
We should steer close by so we can kind of see what's going on.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
All right. So you guys are steering closer by to get a better look?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So you steer closer by the ship, and as you draw closer and you're able to make out details, you can see that it is a series of 5 half human, half fish people. Each of them have been impaled lengthwise on a sharpened stake, and an entire coconut has been shoved forcefully in their mouths, just ripping apart. Obviously a coconut's not going to fit normally in a person's mouth, so you can imagine what kind of sledgehammering was required to make that happen. It's a very grisly scene, to say the least.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
No, I think we should give him a proper burial.
Why?
Because we don't
To
want
give time for their attackers to come back and get us?
Nah, we could take them if they did. I think we should do the right thing.
How do you know fish people want to be buried? Don't you think they want to go back out to sea?
Well, then we could put them back out into the sea. Either way, we shouldn't leave them impaled sexually.
Well, what if their funeral rites involve impaling and coconuts?
I think it's a little bit beyond the pale there.
You don't know their culture.
I'm willing to take the risk.
Okay,
What do you
Captain.
think?
You're the captain.
All right. Steer a little closer so we can wade ashore.
All right, so you guys steer a little bit closer. PPOP, go ahead and give me another navigation check. And this one you can roll.
This one I roll. Nah. Survive. Come on. Click it. 25. Let's go.
So the island is surrounded by a shallow reef, but you managed to navigate it without getting stuck on it. So that's very good. Yeah, you're able to come up within wading distance of the island, and yeah, it's no more pleasant up close. In fact, it's significantly worse the closer you get. These bodies seem to have been here for some time. You would guess somewhere in the weeks. They don't seem to have been terribly, worked over by scavengers, but you would imagine this is probably because you're far enough out to sea there are not a ton of birds. So they're not picked clean yet or anything. The whole scene smells awful, of course. And yeah, you can see what appears to be the signs of some sort of scuffle or fighting had taken place in the area. And yeah, if you can take the bodies down if you want.
Yes.
All right, so you start taking the bodies down. It's a rather grisly thing to do. Of course, as you are removing them, all of these internal organs are, continuing to be further ruptured. One of them actually, had a very distended abdomen, and as you're taking them down, it splits open, spewing disgusting smelling vitriol in all directions. The unicorns are none too pleased. Even Yasuka, who seemed kind of on board at first, has quickly soured on this entire idea.
Oh, we're too far in now.
But yeah, so you take them down. There's not a whole lot more to be learned. These appear to be half fish, half people, similar to Ppiopi and centaur form. So they're mer people, obviously. Though of course you wouldn't have met mer people before, so that's new to you. That these exist. And as you're kind of like getting them ready, if you remove any of the coconuts from their mouths, you do notice that they are, or at least were, some of them, are pretty faded at this point, but they were painted, kind of reminiscent to what the cocoa biters had for their masks.
See, told you it wasn't a funeral, right? So do we? What do you guys think? Do we bury them on land or push them out to sea?
They look like they swim. Let's go with the sea.
Yeah, they have no legs, so they definitely swim.
We're gonna do that then.
All right, you push them out to sea, and they, slowly float off. A couple of them sink, but most of them are, swollen enough that they are, at least for the time being, seaworthy, so to speak.
Mm. Well, don't know much about these folks, but I imagine they were someone loved them. Yeah. All right. Back to the ship. Eulogy done.
All right.
Unless anybody else would like to say something.
Yeah, if you want to poke around the island looking for anything, you could do that as well before you leave.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
All right, so you guys poke around the island. There doesn't seem to be much. This island is clearly uninhabited. They were clearly taken here to be set up, presumably as some sort of a warning. But yeah, you do find a bone trident, half buried in the sand. And if you want to loot the bodies, there are also a few shell necklaces you could pick up.
That doesn't feel right. Manawa Nui's not gonna loot the bodies.
All right. So if anyone wants the bone trident, make sure you add a trident to your inventory. Otherwise, we can continue on.
Manawa Nui's adding the bone trident, and he's gonna set up a little if we have a spare piece of wood or something, he's just gonna stick it into the ground on the island.
There are the spikes that they were impaled on.
That's right.
So definitely some wood there.
Manawa Nui is going to carve a symbol into the ground with them, or like make a symbol, some sort of crude symbol. Is there any like sort of symbol on our island that we do like on like dead people's spots?
There can be.
Well then, if there is one, Manawa is going to make that symbol and then leave.
All right. It's the symbol of the great coconut tree, I would assume. All right, so you guys head on. The rest of the day passes more or less uneventfully. The unicorns have definitely kind of taken over a section of the boat. Yeah. Unless PPOP is going to avoid it, they would like him to join them.
Sure.
All right, so y'all, they've kind of set up their own little section. They've set up like a tent that's on top of the building thing, because obviously they're too big to fit in the building unless they go into human form. And manage to, attach it well enough that it's not too much of a danger, though they do have to, take it down if there are any high winds. Sunbeam has taken up fishing and is able to keep you guys supplied with, a trickle of fresh meat that way. In addition to her duties, also helping to cook. Yasaka, of course, is helping Akalupu with all of the more physical activities. And meanwhile, Blackrock and Starfire have kind of set up, some very basic kind of crafting setups so that you guys are able to do, any crafting you need to make repairs, or, if you need to make more rope or craft any weapons or anything else. Of course, you have, a decent number of just material supplies that you got when you initially took over this raft. So there are actually some actually tanned hides, something that you and the unicorns are not familiar with how they're made, and have spent plenty of time, guessing at, I'm sure, as well as, bone and, other materials. So let's go ahead and, unless anyone else wants to fill any details of what's been going on in the voyage, we'll go ahead and do the next set of weather rolls.
Let's go.
All right, a 90 and a 31. So let's see. That is going to put your weather at no change. So still slight breeze, mostly calm seas. We'll say the fog is more or less faded at this point. So the fog is gone. And then a 31, which puts your wind at unfavorable. So I'm assuming that you're going to row, because otherwise you won't make any progress.
Row, row, row that boat.
All right, let me roll your navigation. You're still, like, even with the fog cleared, you're not sure enough about that part of travel that you're not super sure where you are now. You still think you got it, but yeah. And then, yes, absolutely, just a half a space. And random event. Who wants to roll it this time?
I can't roll it.
Ba, ba, ba. All right, 85.
Is it cool if we make this our last encounter?
Yeah, I was planning to wrap up pretty soon here, because we're getting close to an hour and a half, so I figured we'd do that. So yeah, we can wrap up after this one. So you guys, you're sailing along. And who's currently on lookout? So that could be you, PPOP.
I mean,
you are
Nui.
navigating, obviously, but someone else could be taking up the role as well. Oh yeah, Manawa Nui. At this point, you're largely recovered. Sammy has kept you, has kept you in bandages. So at this point, yeah, you could go ahead and peel those off, and you actually, surprisingly, despite the damage you took, you have a couple of scars, but they're very minor. Nothing really disfiguring at all.
Well, then Mono Anui is going to take up the watch.
All right, give me a perception check.
What is my perception?
Let me check for you. You have a perception of +6.
6?
Correct.
So 20, because I got a 14.
So you notice something trying to clamber up the side of the raft.
Mono, is anybody sleeping near Mono Anui?
It's not nighttime. This is during the day.
Oh. Mono Anui's, hey guys, something trying to clamber up the boat, and Mono Anui's gonna, after saying that, walk towards it.
All right, so you walk toward it, and just now scrambling onto your boat is a headless figure.
Is it a fish person?
No, it's not.
Good, because
It looks more
that came to bite us in the butt.
it looks more like an ape,
Um,
but it has no head.
is it coming towards me?
Yeah, it is slowly shambling
Menacingly?
in your direction. I mean, it's moving shamblingly.
Mono Anui's gonna pick up a stick and hold it out to like poke its chest.
All right, so
Like kind of like hold it at bay.
So it bumps into the stick, and as soon as it feels the stick poking into its chest, it grabs at it and wrenches it from your hands, and then starts to swing it about wildly.
Mono Anui's gonna cast Ray of Frost and try and blow this sucker off the boat.
All right. Anyone other than Mono Anui going to do anything?
PvOP was drawing an arrow,
All right.
but not letting it fly yet.
So if Ray of,
already cast.
all right,
sorry.
the Ray of Frost impacts into the creature. It seems to have taken some damage. If anything, it is now flailing the stick about even more wildly. It's starting to do damage to your sails and to the structure on your raft.
PvOP lets the arrow fly.
All right, go ahead and roll damage.
A damage. Oh, and it 9.
Nice. All right, and Akalupu, you doing anything, or just sitting on your hands?
He's just like,
No, Aqualus over there. He's going to
Oh, that was, by the way, I applied sneak attack damage because this opponent obviously cannot see me.
Yes, this guy cannot see you.
say he's lost his head.
not very good. Oh. I'm gonna use my club. And I'm gonna hit it.
All right,
Hello.
so the arrow sinks into its chest. The creature definitely, like, if it had the ability to, you imagine it would be howling in pain at this point. And then Akalupu comes up and just, home run bat swing, just knocks this thing off of your boat, like 20 feet away, and it quickly is left in your wake.
Row.
What was that thing, do you think?
I don't know.
How was it alive?
I kind of want to know that myself.
Maybe some kind of dark magic.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
like some sort of necromancy or whatever.
What's necromancy?
It's like death magic. You can like bring people back from the dead and stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
That's
generally frowned on because it's like generally doesn't end well.
How so?
Well, you saw that thing, right? It wasn't exactly friendly. Generally, the undead want to, either kill everything or make everything else also undead. This is BlackRock speaking, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right. And we will go ahead and wrap up there. So let's see. We'll start with PPOP. What have you learned?
PPOP learned to freaking pay attention for zombies on the 7 seas, apparently.
Yippers. You don't want to end up like the Ailstorm guys and have to write a whole song about how zombies ate your pirate ship. I'm just saying. All right, and let's see. What about Mono Anui? What has Mono Anui learned?
Mono Anui learned about necromancy.
Oh yeah, that won't end poorly for anyone, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
And
None
finally,
the dead.
and finally, Akalupu. What has he learned?
Kalupu learned that he can live without meat, but it makes him very sad, and he's very glad to have meat again.
Oh yeah, even if it's just, all this like fish, it barely even counts. You want real red meat, right? But it's better than nothing.
He'll take what he can get.
Exactly. Alrighty, well thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you all had a great time, and I will see you all at the next game. Bye!